How much of what was there is gone?
Nothing is gone.
So, Foundation Season 3, Episode 2 just dropped, and wow, things are spiraling fast. The Mule is no longer just a whisper or a warning. He's here, he's mind-controlling people, and he's turning Kalgan into his personal playground. Meanwhile, the Empire? Cracking at the seams. Hari Seldon might be gone for good. Gaal just woke up after a century-and-a-half nap, and oh yeah, there's basically a Death Star now. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host Spoiler Master. If you thought the first episode was laying the groundwork, this one flips the entire table. Loyalties are shifting, timelines are colliding, and no one, absolutely no one, is safe. So let's dive deep into episode 2 and unpack everything, from the Mule's terrifying mind games to a secret weapon that could change the fate of the galaxy in seconds. This is Foundation at full throttle. Let's get into it.
Do you love the Mule?
More than anything.
The Mule's terrifying power play on Kalgan. So let's start with Kalgan. The Mule is officially in charge now, and his first order of business? Demonstrate absolute control. He storms into Archduke Balerian's former palace, where his officers, well, former officers, are gathered, unsure of where they stand. And then he gives them a demonstration they'll never forget. He brings out Scarlet, a character whose name is clearly a sci-fi spin on Scarlet. He uses his mentalic powers to control her in front of the entire room, forcing her to aim a gun at herself. It's creepy, it's sadistic, but it's also strategic. He tells her to shoot herself at the count of 3, says 2, then pauses. And one of the officers blurts out 3. That's a big moment. Was that officer under the Mule's influence? Or was he just trying to end Scarlet's suffering? Either way, the Mule is testing everyone, pushing their limits, seeing how easily they'll break or follow. But plot twist, he never actually lets Scarlet shoot. He removes the glowing piece from the weapon, kind of like a futuristic firing pin, and shows the crowd it was never active. Here's the confusing part. If that glow is such an obvious indicator of a functional weapon, how did none of these trained officers catch on? Were they that terrified? Or was this whole charade just meant to scare them into submission? It feels like the Mule isn't just using raw power, he's using performance. Fear as theatre.
Okay.
Until your uncle sees the goodness in you, I don't care what he thinks about.
Toran and Bayta, reluctant heroes. Now, while the Mule is out there mind-controlling people, Toran Mallow and his wife Bayta are living what looks like the influencer dream life, lounging around, looking good, trying to Monet-ize their charm. But of course, peace doesn't last. The Mule's ship, the Black Tongue, appears in the sky, and it's a reality check. Kalgan is in the middle of a coup. You can't just sip wine through that. Then comes Captain Pritcher. He arrives at Toran's doorstep and tells him, hey, we've got a party to attend. But it's not just for drinks and dancing. The Mule is throwing this party to show off his power and gather support from Kalgan's elite. Pritcher sees it as the perfect opportunity to get close to him and figure out what they're really dealing with. Is this just another dictator, or something much worse? But here's the kicker. The Mule may very well use this event to spread his influence. Literally. Mentalic manipulation. So if Pritcher walks into that room unprepared, he could come out one of the Mule's puppets. Also, let's talk about Randu, Toran's uncle. We saw him crash back in Haven, and everyone's acting like he's just out of the picture. But no one confirms he's dead. Not Toran, not Pritcher. That silence feels intentional. So, is Randu still alive? Hiding? Captured? It's suspicious, and you can bet that thread will come back later.
Awaken, sleeper. The first speaker welcomes you home.
The tragedy of Hari Seldon. Alright, this next part is heavy. Let's rewind 151 years. On Ignis, now the second Foundation, Gaal and Hari are woken up by Thalos. The plan is simple in theory. Train the Mentalics, prepare for the Mule, then go back to sleep and repeat until the time is right. But the years pass, and it's clear their fragmented sleep schedules just aren't cutting it. They aren't making enough progress. So, Hari makes a heartbreaking decision. He volunteers to stay awake indefinitely, sacrificing his own future so that Gaal can rest and be ready when the crisis hits. It's devastating. Gaal wanted them to do this together, but Hari knows that the work needs consistency. So he lies, tells her he'll wake her in a year, then keeps her asleep for 148. When she finally wakes up, she's furious. And who wouldn't be? But after hearing Hari out, she sees the bigger picture. The Mule is almost here. The Mentalics are nearly ready. It's time. Hari, now an old man, reveals the next part of the plan. The Prime Radiant holds the roadmap for the next 5 crises, out of 8 total, and the Invictus plays a major role. Remember the Invictus? That ancient Empire ship that could jump through space using a black hole? Yeah, turns out it's not entirely destroyed. And then Hari leaves. Not just metaphorically. The physical manifestation of the Prime Radiant, who's basically a sentient AI, opens a portal and escorts him to his final resting place. But not before they have a cryptic exchange about having skin in the game. Hari won't live to see the future he's building, and that's what makes his sacrifice meaningful. It's a full circle moment, echoing that Andia monologue about burning your life for a sunrise you'll never see. Brutal. Poetic.
By psychohistory, at least.
It couldn't just be wrong.
The Empire plays with fire. Back on Tranta, the Cleons are still stuck in existential crisis mode. Day, Dusk, and Dawn continue debating what to do about the Mule and the potential end of the Empire. Day, he's given up. He's chilling, getting high on spores, and hanging out with soldiers and his pet ferret like it's spring break. Dawn, on the other hand, still cares. He's trying to manage things, keep appearances up. And Dusk? Well, he's desperate. He begs Demerzel not to decommission him after his tenure ends. But Demerzel, ever the loyal servant to the system, shuts him down. Her role isn't emotional, it's mechanical. She does what's needed, when it's needed. And then comes the wildest twist of the episode, Dusk's secret weapon. Literally. It turns out he's been overseeing a project that is essentially Foundation's version of the Death Star. The engineers have repurposed the remnants of the Invictus's black hole technology to build a planet-destroying weapon. That's right. The Empire has a giant space laser now. They frame it as a deterrent, which is such a loaded word. It's the same excuse real-world governments use for nuclear arsenals. But let's be honest, it's an escalation, a threat, a desperate grasp at power. And the irony? Hari warned that the Invictus would be crucial to humanity's future. But now, in the Empire's hands, it could become the exact thing that wipes everyone out.
Call as soon as I heard the name.
It's time to make his...
Dawn's secret call. Towards the end of the episode, we get one of the most intriguing moments. Dawn contacts Gaal directly. That's huge. 4 years, the Empire and the Foundations have been at odds. But now, with the Mule threatening everyone, those lines are blurring. Dawn clearly sees the writing on the wall. His mentors, Dusk and Day, are either checked out or stuck in old ways. Demerzel? She's got her own agenda. So instead of trusting them, Dawn reaches out to Gaal, because she actually has a plan. She's working with the Mentalics. She has insight into the Prime Radiant. And more importantly, she's focused on survival, not politics. It's a bold move. Is it betrayal? Technically, yes. But maybe it's also the smartest decision anyone in the Empire has made in a long time. Gaal's been preparing for this moment for over a century. And now, with Dawn's help, she might actually have a shot at stopping the Mule.
Learned about people like this Mule that can make unlikely things.
Our nerdy thoughts. Episode 2 is packed. We get huge revelations about the Mule's manipulation tactics, the Empire's descent into authoritarian panic, and Hari Seldon's ultimate sacrifice. The Death Star-level threat from the Invictus, combined with the uncertainty of who will align with who, makes the road ahead feel more dangerous than ever. So where does that leave us? Gaal and Preem are back in action. Dawn might become a rogue ally. And the Mule? He's just getting started. What did you think of the episode? Do you think Randu is still alive? Will the Death Star change the course of the crises? And most importantly, can anyone stop the Mule before the galaxy falls into chaos? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns, theories, and everything Foundation.
The Mule. I expected your call as soon as I heard.